What's going on, socialites? Welcome back to another Global Pokemon Society Week in Review Playoff Edition. Getting ready for the playoffs. Minor leagues, as you can see, already deep into the playoffs here as they are entering week number 2. Week number 1, the Winnie Sears got that bye week, earning that number 1 spot. Free trip to round number 2 and a chance to make it up to the majors. Our other matches, the Seattle Shiny Sylveons knock out the Mighty Psyducks. I really thought Ali had it this season. I drafted him a good team, and he stomped on Seattle in week 1 of the season, but I don't know, couldn't bring it here. Seattle definitely turning things up. They make it into the second round. Then on the other side of the bracket, we had the Florida Feraligators, our number 2 seed, taking on the Palatown Pikachus. Florida moving on in that matchup. And they will be facing the St. Paul Cleavors, who defeated another one of our society veterans, the El Paso Electros. So our 2 veterans, the Psyducks and El Paso, both knocked out. Florida was part of the minor leagues last season, so they are our longest tenured team remaining. Will they be able to take the crown, or will one of the newcomers, the Sears, who went undefeated in the regular season, the Sylveons, or the Cleavors, will they take it? Let me know your thoughts. Right now, I'm definitely thinking it's going to be a Sears-Florida finals. And I think the Sears might have it. I think they can pull it out here with their rain team. Now we move on to the Major League bracket. This is where it all matters here. The top 6 teams all have a bye week. So this week we're going to have the number 7 seed Lavender Town taking on the number 10 seed Denver, and the number 8 seed Vero Beach taking on the number 9 seed Black City. So we're going to go through this. I'm going to give my analysis on this whole thing, and I'm going to predict a winner here. So let's jump right on in. Going to go right over to here. We got our lovely team sheet. So let's see. Let's look at the number 7 team, the Lavender Town Gengars. They're very Trick Room centric. Their team kind of lives or dies off it. They like to run their Arcanine pretty offensive though, which is interesting. They get most of their bulk from their Vaporeon. So the way to beat them is, one, either scorch them before they can get the Trick Room off, or use special attackers that have some bulk to them to be able to survive their Trick Room turns. So if, we're looking at this team here, Lavender Town, not the best season, 5-4. They did have a very difficult schedule though. Looking at Denver, who also had a very un-Denver-like season, going 4-5, definitely the worst they have ever gone. They got their Sun team. They do also have some Trick Room stuff. I can definitely expect them to bring a couple of their Trick Room pieces, as well as their Sun Core. I think just their Sun Core in general could be really threatening. Like if you have, say, like Charizard and Tangrowth out, it could be pretty difficult for Denver to set up like a Trick Room, because they're going to want to fake out, say, the Charizard with their Hariyama to set up the Trick Room with either Girafarig or Exeggutor. That could allow something like a Tangrowth to get off a Sleep Powder. Of course, Exeggutor will be immune to that, so that is something they have to look out for. Play around that. But if they are worried about the Trick Room, they do have the Dusclops, which can be very, anti-Trick Room with those Imprisons. So it all depends how Denver wants to bring this in. And I'm going to bring this up a lot through this analysis. It is very rare if a team beat you in the regular season, that you will beat them this time. Usually, if a team wins in the regular season, they win in the playoffs. I was looking back. I could not find anything in recent memory. The last one I could think of was way back in season 2 when your Boston Braviaries beat the Tuscaloosa Town Flames in the finals and got their season 2 trophy here. That was the last time I could find it. If another one of the coaches remembers, because sometimes I don't remember exactly how the playoffs all lined up, especially in the early rounds of every season. But typically, if a team wins in the regular season, they're going to win in the playoffs. With that said, while I think on paper it looks tough for Lamertown, Denver has been having a really uncharacteristic season. I'm going to give the edge to Lamertown. I think that they will win this game. Next up, we got the Vero Beach Volcarona taking on the Lamertown Gengars. Vero Beach, man, their team is wacky, right? It's just like hyper offense, a lot of ghost and dark weaknesses. Not really sure what to make of it. They got into the playoffs though, so I mean they were doing something right. They beat Lamertown in the final week, thanks to this Regirock right here. But you go to Black City, and I said ghost and dark weakness. You see one of the best ghost types right here, Gengar. Could be very threatening. They also have, if they wanted to bring Donphan with Ice Shard for some of these Dragon types, some of these other faster Pokemon, I think Donphan's alright. They got to utilize Sableye better. They have not been utilizing it very well throughout the season. Ambipom's going to be fast. It can have stuff like... What does it get? Does it get beat up or... Thief? It gets some sort of dark move. I think it's Thief is like its best one, which isn't great, but with Technician Boost, at least it's something. It might also get like Shadow Claw randomly. I forget. But anyway, I think Black City, if Sableye, and this is a big if, if Sableye can play well, I like Black City here. I'm going to give the edge to Black City. So that would then make the playoff picture Lamertown would face the Primals, and Black City would face Boston. So let's start off with Boston and Black City. So again, Boston beat them in the regular season. I should say that Vero beat Black City in the regular season. So that kind of goes against what I'm saying. But I think that with Gengar now, it helps Black City. But Boston beat Black City in the regular season. I don't see anything really changing for that. Like, it kind of is what it is. I'm not going to go too much into it. Gengar can be annoying for sure, but I think Absol was a huge part for Boston's win the first time. So you got to worry about Absol. You got stuff like Feraligatr that can come in. Hitmontop can do stuff like Sucker Punch and intimidate some of those physical attackers. Jumpluff is fast as long as Gengar can be weakened as a support Pokemon. Clefable can use some Resist Berries along with Follow Me to open stuff up against stuff like Nidoking, those Sludge Waves and everything. You never really picked up a Steel type to pair with those Sludge Waves, so that's kind of where I'm going with that. It would kind of be the same sort of thing. The teams are similar to how they face each other in the regular season. Then let's take a look at the Primals, because they'll be going up against the Laverntown Gengars. Primals did lose to Laverntown. Of course, the teams were a little bit different. Laverntown really used Mamoswine a lot in that first game, and Phoenix did not have Vileplume. Now, Laverntown does have a few things going for them. Both these teams like to do some Trick Room stuff. I do think overall Laverntown's team is better in Trick Room, although Torkoal is always a threat. It's always going to be the slowest thing on the field here, unless you want to like Iron Ball something. But with Torkoal, you could also bring something like Exeggutor with Chlorophyll instead of Harvest. That would allow it to outspeed Vileplume, be able to knock that out without any after you shenanigans. I do also believe, and let me just double check something here. Yeah, so what I was thinking is redirecting after you, but Laverntown's only redirector is Butterfree anyway, which means Rage Powder, which means Vileplume isn't affected by it. But I think it's going to be a close match. I think depending on how he wants to run some of these Pokemon, Togekiss is going to be really tough from Phoenix's side. I want to give the edge to Laverntown, but I do think Phoenix will win this one, mostly because of Togekiss. I don't think the Torkoal Vileplume thing is as scary here, mainly because you do have stuff like Exeggutor and Vaporeon and Hariyama. Like if you want to run thick fat, Hariyama can be a good decent Torkoal counter with certain moves. So we'll see. I think this one is really close. It's not your normal 2 versus 7 seed match. I think it's really close. Laverntown did beat them first week, but the teams are pretty different. I'm going to give the slight edge to Phoenix. Then we're going to take a look at Pittsburgh, the number 3 seed, taking on the Chicago Scrafty. Pittsburgh, of course, was the team to beat all season. They did end up losing later in the season and only made the 3rd seed, but they have stuff like Tailwind. They do have Trick Room. They have the best Pokemon hands down in Cresselia. They have a scary physical Pokemon in Infernape. So there's definitely a lot of stuff they can do. Always a threat. Then with the Scrafties, they are our Rain team representing in the playoffs. Number 6 seed, Mantine, the league's KO leader, is on this team. But Rain doesn't matter too much when your opponent can just get up a Tailwind. Easy peasy. The only question is, other than Ampharos, Pittsburgh doesn't really have much in the way of electric attacks. You can run Thunder Punch on Infernape and Thunderbolt and Porygon. So, okay, they got play. Yeah, I think Pittsburgh should be able to take this one. I think they can get Tailwind up and just use the bevy of electric weaknesses on the Scrafties. Pittsburgh, I believe, should take this one pretty easily. Then we got the 4 versus 5 seed, the Oklahoma Thunderous, taking on Paris Saint-Germignon. PSG beat them earlier in the season. Not too much has changed on Oklahoma's team, and nothing's changed on PSG's team. I do think a lot of it could come down to Salamence. If they Scarf it, does PSG counter with Scarf Garchomp? That is something to think about. And if they Scarf Garchomp, then Azumarill becomes a lot better. But PSG has Rotom, which, again, if you go like Scarf Garchomp and Rotom, that's just a strong lead right off the bat. Like, there's not much that Oklahoma can do here, right? Because they can, like, Lucario's going to get earthquaked. Manectric is going to get earthquaked. Salamence can just get Dragon Clawed. Azumarill will get discharged. Blossom will probably die to a combo of whatever they want to do. Discharge, Earthquake, Dragon Claw, Blizzard. You know, it needs setup to get going. It needs to get off those quiver dances. Lopunny is a key there. You could lead off Lopunny with Salamence and just try to fake out Dragon Claw and then go from there. That could be something scary. There's definitely a lot to think about. I do like PSG though. Again, they beat them earlier in the season. The teams haven't really changed. PSG, for the most part, has the speed on their side, besides Manectric and then Scarf Salamence. PSG can outspeed the rest of it with Garchomp, Tauros, Starmie. They have weather control and bulk with Hippowdon. They could get screens up with Meganium. There's not too much other than the Heracross and Houndoom that Oklahoma can do against Meganium if it's bulky. So I think I'm going to give this one to PSG. I think we will see an upset, but it is a matchup we saw earlier in the season that PSG did win. So that'll leave us the number 1 seed, Boston Braviaries, taking on the number 5 seed, Paris Saint-Germignon. Boston beat them pretty handily during the regular season. Again, the teams haven't really switched up at all. I think Boston's ability to kind of ignore these hyper offense teams because of their bulk and just their general support tools will do really well for them again in this matchup. So again, I see Boston making it to the finals here. More interestingly, we have Pittsburgh and Phoenix, the 2 and 3 seed. Pittsburgh, though, with Murkrow, doubling its whole team speed. You got someone like Rampardos here. Rampardos, get the double speed. Doesn't matter what Torkoal does. Bam. You're dead. Something like a Choice Banded, Head Smash or something. Again, against like Togekiss, Choice Banded, Head Smash. Rampardo seems pretty good against a lot of Phoenix's stuff. If they try and go for the Trick Room, they don't really have anything that can break through Cresselia. Cresselia can reverse the Trick Room pretty easily. Infernape. Again, just another fast physical attacker. Can U-turn around. I think it can learn Taunt. You could taunt stuff. Flare Blitz is just strong. Of course, like if Torkoal wants to set up the Sun, that's just gonna make Infernape's Flare Blitzes even stronger. Fake Out, of course, really good stuff. Drapion is a pretty decent counter as well to Togekiss. Yeah, I think Pittsburgh has the tools that they need here against Phoenix. I think Phoenix would have to try to get a Trick Room and kind of hope, and I think that Cresselia is just way too bulky. They can just reverse the Trick Room and then go from there again, and I don't know if Phoenix can play that game. So that would leave us with the 1 versus 3 seed, your Boston Braviaries taking on Pittsburgh Poltergeist. Pittsburgh did beat Boston in the regular season. Boston made some boneheaded plays, though. Timed out in picking our stuff. So, there is that. Their team's so bulky, though. Cresselia, of course, we've mentioned. I do think Boston's team has the tools to beat any team if they're prepared correctly. But Pittsburgh team has the flexibility to do whatever they want. So it'll come down to, can Boston prepare for what Pittsburgh is bringing, or will Pittsburgh bring something totally different and be able to beat them pretty easily? Gonna be tough. I won't lie. I think Pittsburgh will take this one, though. As the head coach of Boston, I don't want to win. Someone else can win. I got enough trophies in my case. 4 out of 7 seasons. I don't think we want to see 5 out of 8. So I'm going to say that the Pittsburgh Poltergeist will beat the Boston Braves in the finals. I just think that there's too much on Pittsburgh's team. I don't know how the freaking people in this league let Cresselia drop all the way to whatever it was, like the 12th or 13th pick or whatever. Like, that's ridiculous. There's a gap between the different levels of coaches, and you really do see it sometimes. And it's like not being able to see like broken Pokemon in these formats that you gotta pick. Like, it's gotta be like a top 2 pick. Like, I know Phoenix picked Togekiss. Number 2, you should have picked Cresselia. But that's my prediction. I think that Pittsburgh will win the finals. Let me know your thoughts, what you think will happen. And as always, stay classy, society.